Dear fellow countrymen and women, I wonder why Canadians are collectively aware of this unremarkable leader of yours, mine, and ours. Is recognition of the fact that collectively some Canadians have missed some very rich, dare I say, history. Sir John David Sparrow Thompson. Whew, that sure is a mouthful. When, as a Canadian history buff, I discovered this unsung Canadian historical event, I was somewhat shocked. It took me some time to discover how little known this fact truly was and is. I became more aware when I talked to history professors at some notable Canadian universities, including Dalhousie and Halifax. Sir John T.'s city of birth. He had trod these hallowed halls to get his law degree. I could not find a single history professor who was aware of this moot point of our past. I hope to change this depressing fact. Now I'm going to cut to the chase by saying Sir John T. had a very wide girth, to say the least. When he became our Prime Minister, the doctors were immediately worried about his health. In particular, they were concerned about his heart. For the most part, they recommended rest. Despite their concern, he accepted Queen Victoria's invitation to travel to Britain to be inducted into her Privy Council. So he booked his passage to London, England. Thompson assured the doctors that he had an appointment with leading heart specialist. When he arrived in London, he indeed did see the leading cardiac doctor, Sir Russell Reynolds, who was more hopeful. But he failed to heed Sir Reynolds' advice to take it easy and cross the English Channel to have a vacation with his daughter Muriel. Much happened on the less than relaxing vacation, but Sir JT did manage to make it back to Windsor Castle to participate in the short Privy Council induction ceremony on December the 12th, 1894. After the inductions, Queen Victoria adjourned the meeting and led them to the dining room for lunch at 1 o'clock. Next thing that happens is some of the Queen's guests noticed that the Canadian guest was sitting alone at a table, but strangely, his face appeared to be resting on a plate. They went to his aid and roused him, while the Queen summoned her physician, Dr. Sir Watt Reed, who came running shortly thereafter and announced to the Queen and her guests that Sir John Thompson was dead. He had died from a massive heart attack, and he was only 50 years old. Now, if you ask me, and remember, I'm just a Canadian history bumpkin, really don't know all that much. However, if I drop dead in front of Her Royal Majesty Queen Victoria in her castle, full of guests no less, and failed to get any attention, well then, I guess nothing ever will. However, it did put a real damper on the Queen's launch party that day. A nice little subnote, the Queen had a huge, well-attended funeral, then shipped JT home in her largest and fastest battleship, the HMS Blenheim, that she insisted be painted black for the solemn occasion. When he arrived back in Halifax, January 1st, 1895, at exactly 12 o'clock, you can see it was a miserable day. They took him and laid him in state until the 3rd, when they had a state funeral in St. Mary's Cathedral that was attended by his wife Annie and his 5 surviving children. As you can see, it was quite a procession when he was moved from the church to the Holy Cross Cemetery. I like to tease y'all and say, they damn well went and buried him a beat too deep. Well, he was. You didn't know who the heck he was until you saw this video. And here is his monument. Very fitting for a man of such great stature. Now, if you ask me, I think that's pretty cool. It's not cool, Canada, that you don't know this stunning story about Our Lady of York. But the saving grace is, now you do. But I bet your grandparents, parents, school teachers, colleagues, and so on have no idea who the hell he is or was. Perhaps with this video, Sir John Thompson will finally get the attention he so richly deserves. And he is just one of 99 stories in my book, Stories from the Heart of Canada. And that's all, folks, or until I bring another fantastic story to light.